Did you look up who wrote any of these songs?
No, did you?
No, I didn't.
Because I did a quick Google search for why does the music suck in Snow White? And there wasn't really a definitive answer, but it was just the AI was like, yes, it's generally regarded as bad. It's like, okay, cool. That makes sense. AI is so helpful now. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. You're right, human.
Bad.
You nailed it.
There's a consistency among the humans to say, yeah, it's bad.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's Hey, watch him, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watch. What? Welcome to Hate.
Go.
What? Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
This is the show where we dare to look at the occasional children's entertainment and tear it to shreds.
Dan was so mad when I picked a children's movie. It's against his rules. Dan has 3 rules, and that's one of them.
What? I have a lot of rules.
That's true. That is true. I just don't write them all down, so I only got 3 memorized.
We don't do a lot of kids' movies just because, we are adults, and adults putting themselves in the kid space and demanding that kid space entertainment is for them is becoming a problematic thing.
That's true. That is true. I mean, but then you get movies like Blank Check and it's perfect. So I don't know.
There it is. So this week, Tony picked a movie to piss me off. And
almost specifically, yeah, because I brought it when it came out in theaters. You were like, "We're never doing that movie," and then as soon as it came out, I was like, "We're gonna do the movie." I don't care, Dan.
And I have to say, I take it back, man. This is a very good kids-ish movie to look at to see what's
wrong with the generation of kids, because if they enjoyed this. They got problems.
I can't imagine a child enjoying anything about this
no,
movie.
I don't think so. No, this is a horrifying movie.
What is the movie, Tony?
Oh, yes. This is 2025's Snow White. Classic, reinvented, and it's a new classic.
Yeah, so it's live-action version of Snow White. I think it was a development.
For a lot of it.
It was development hell for a long time, I think, right?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Did you do any homework? I didn't do any homework.
Well, my homework was I watched most of the original Snow White this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's actually great, because I had a lot of questions, because I have not seen that movie since I was a child. And I kept thinking to myself, I don't think this is what it was about.
No,
so okay. Can you break it down for us?
Let me bullet point the real Snow White movie.
Yeah, let's do get the cliff notes.
We open the evil queen is Snow White's stepmother.
Right.
She keeps Snow White down, cleaning the stairs, surrounded by animals that are cool, and she wants to be the fairest of them all, and she knows at some point Snow White's going to become a problem. Snow White's sitting there. We do a wishing well thing. Snow White's, I'm wishing, I'm woo. We didn't do that in this one.
That's probably fine.
The sound reverberates in the wishing well, goes over the wall. Local prince riding by is like, who is that? I am in love.
Oh, just by the voice. I get it.
Just by the voice. He climbs the fence and is like, I'm in love with you. Okay, so here we are. We're all set. She's a domestic. He's a prince. He's the one that's going to do the work.
Perfect.
Things change. She becomes she's too fair. So the mirror tells the evil queen that she's too fair. So she has the huntsman take her out into the woods to kill her. The huntsman can't do it. He says, run away. She runs away into the forest. Everything is spooky there. And then as dawn comes up, we realize everything that she thought was spooky was really just the animals. They come up there. She charms the animals. She goes to where the dwarves are. They take her to the dwarves' house. She cleans.
Oh, the animals lead her. Oh,
the animals lead her. She cleans the entire dwarves' house.
Okay.
Cut to the dwarves. They're working in the mine. We dig, 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 dig.
Okay.
They they leave to go home at the end of the day and sing, "Hi ho, it's off to work we go."
That can't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
That's the wrong time of day. That's the morning song, guys.
I have the feeling they must have cut one where they walk to work singing the song,
Sure.
but then they couldn't sort of get it in there.
Yeah, too many walking scenes. We got to cut it down.
So they get home. Who's the angry dwarf? Grumpy. Not nearly as grumpy and horrible in this thing. You know, in the new one, he's so horrible. You just like, please, someone kill him.
Yeah, he's a piece of trash.
They're like, how can we get more tension in this? Well, let's make the angry one really fucking angry, just like shitty.
really, really 2025 angry. He's got problems.
Yeah. So they take her back there. You know, through machinations, they decide to all get along. They're like, okay.
It's very nice of them.
Wicked Queen figures out, she asks the magic mirror, and Mirror's like, oh yeah, Snow White's, you know, at the dwarf's cottage. She goes.
So he doesn't have the rule where he can only answer one question.
Did they do that in this movie? I don't remember that.
Yes, there was a line where it was like, he's only able to answer one question. Who is the fairest? I was like, why does he have that limitation? But sorry, continue.
Wow, that's a useless magic mirror. So she works up the apple, goes there, while the dwarves are off at work, gets Snow White. Snow White passes out. The dwarves love her too much, so they don't bury her. Instead, they make her a glass.
Yeah, glass tube, right?
Wait, hold on. Let me think. Wait.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
I missed it. Oh, wait. No, hold on. So the Wicked Queen is in there. They get the animal alert. Right, so is
that similar to an Amber Alert?
Remember when the animals alerted them and they came riding on the thing? So they're rushing home. I think they find her. I was fast forwarding at this part, so I missed. Maybe they find her dead, and so they're pissed off. They chase down the witch, the queen. Chase her.
Oh, that's better.
Up into the mountains in the rain. She's trying to do a rock to crush them all to death with a rock.
Oh my God!
Lightning strikes. The precipice she is on falls. And the rock falls behind her, so basically she falls to her death. The dwarves kill the evil. Snow White falls.
I kind of love that, actually, but yeah, great. Continue.
Because that's the thing, is the queen's about to poison her, and they're rushing home. They get home too late, and then they kill the queen. Wow, seems like a thing.
John Wick style revenge.
Yes, as opposed to her breaking a mirror and dying.
It's melting my face off. It's glass. That doesn't make any sense. Continue.
We sort of have a montage, and we get some pages. They encase her in crystal, and then the prince, who's been looking for her all this time, comes and kisses her.
Just finds her.
She wakes up.
Eventually finds her. He's riding that horse back and forth with a search party. He finds her eventually.
And everything's good. She goes and visits the princess.
So she dies for a while in that one? Like, it's like maybe days?
I was hoping it was like years. That's what I was hoping they were going to say years, which is cool. Because Sleeping Beauty's, she's in the castle for years, I believe.
Long time.
Long time. So. Okay.
Yes, it's different. It's a little different. It's samey, but different.
No, it's completely different. Because she's a full domestic. She has a small amount of agency, but I'm going to argue does what's her name really have any agency? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't really know what this movie's about, to be honest. It didn't feel like there was much of a plot.
I mean, I kind of wish it had gone more. Well, first of all, her costume. Talk about her costume, Tony.
First of all, I want to talk about everyone's costumes in the fact that they don't get dirty at all. First of all, they are all fresh out of the package from Target or wherever they got these stupid clothes that are way too colorful and way too clean for anything that's going on there. Mm-hmm. But then she's got like what I'll call poor people clothes in the beginning, right? But then she's like, I'm going to go pick apples. And then she's got this not poor people dress. And I'm like, where did she get that? Because the queen's not giving her new clothes.
No.
So where did she get this nice little, Snow White dress all of a sudden? That should just probably be her clothes all the time. And maybe she throws over a little jacket when she goes apple picking. I don't know. It's weird, but they all look really cheap.
The big
Is
yellow,
that just me?
The big yellow tulle, that's called tulle, and you're just like, and then the other thing, her dress is like, I won't say it's modest, but it's like, it's not bright yellow. They're not murderous colors. It's really, they're evocative colors. It's when Disney was making this, he was looking at like these European painters that were like, that did these beautiful fairy tale paintings that were gorgeous and, lots of browns and reds. And, they were not just like primary colors.
Yeah.
And this thing just wants to sort of barf primary colors on you at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Terrible.
Ugly.
And so she, they sort of want to make her a girl boss, but she's so not a girl boss.
Well, I mean, almost literally. You know what I mean? Just because she just kind of is like, okay, I'll just clean. It's cool. And then she's just kind of like, yeah, no, it's fine. Hey, everyone get along. Hey, come on, guy. And she doesn't really do anything. Yeah, like there's no boss nature to anything she does or says or acts. But they do kind of say like, oh, wow, you're a badass. And that's confusing to me. I don't know. But, in their defense, I say that about myself, too. Sometimes in the mirror in the morning, I'm like, hey, you're a badass. You got this. But we all know it's not true. So sometimes you just say it to kind of inflate your own ego.
And we're going to talk about the rogue Jonathan.
Is that the prince guy?
His name's
Jonathan's from Dungeons and Dragons, which I love. But I was like, who is Jonathan in this film? But that must be that's Robin Hood's name.
Yeah, the thief.
Yeah, sure, yeah. It's clad in green. Come on, guys, what are we doing here?
Was he really wearing green?
He was like all green for the whole movie, and I was like, he's just Robin Hood, but less cool.
He was. There was nothing positive. Was there anything positive about him through the movie?
He had really nice hair. I'm very jealous of his hair. As a bald man.
I just looked at that. The hair just mesmerized me.
It was
everything
beautiful.
Else going on terrible.
What do you say? Voluminous? Like it had a nice curve to the. It was. I mean, he's got nice head of hair. He's probably going to lose it.
Voluminous.
Voluminous.
Now, could he act?
No. I was also debating if he could sing, and there are times where I was like, oh, he can sing, but it did feel like sometimes when he's doing like the those like the spoken word parts of the song, it felt like he was putting on some sort of affectation. Like it didn't sound like his normal voice, because when he talks, it's he talks kind of deep, and then when he talks in the song, he's like, it was really weird, and I was like, is this guy not talented? But then when he hits the high notes, you're like, oh no, he's got a voice, he's got a vocal range. So there was something weird in the booth where I think someone was like, try it this way. And then he did it. And they were like, that's it. And it wasn't it. You know what I mean?
Now, was there any point in this movie where the singing got you emotional?
No. Well, I mean, part of the problem is the songs are terrible.
Yes, I know the songs are terrible. I'm just like, a person, how they sing with inflection and, bringing up certain words can make you emotional. Like if you're a really good singer, you're going like, okay, you're getting me. Ooh, and I mean okay. So before we started, I was like, I have to listen to some music that I know is good in a musical that has come out in the last 5 years. So,
yeah, I caught you mid-listen. Continue.
So I brought up Ripple from Spirited, sung by Will Ferrell.
Right.
Yeah. This song was cut from the
main movie.
One of, in my opinion, one of the greatest movie musical songs ever.
Which is why they kept it. For the record,
Well,
they
they
put
put
it
it
in
on
the
the
credits so that you can see, because they agree. They're like, man, this song's really good. Doesn't really fit in the movie, but this song is incredible.
Yes, an incredible. Well, and the way he tries to start it, and then it gets cut. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you want to go,
It's perfect.
If you want to watch a musical, go watch Spirited, because Will Ferrell 10 times better singer than anyone in this movie.
Well, except for Gal Godot. I mean, boy, is she a treasure. Sorry, that was probably meaner than it needed to be.
It's very cruel, Tony. Very, very cruel. And that's not to say if you put these people in a real musical where someone is directing them musically and there's actual stakes and Rachel
And somebody wrote a good song, maybe maybe with a catchy tune, some clever lyrics, anything at all.
No, Tony, the lyrics just constantly are rhyming in this movie, so they're good.
And then that's not what makes it good. I'm pretty sure. I took a music theory class one time in college, and I don't think that was on the curriculum.
I counted a lot of rhymes. They rhymed a lot of words, a lot of word rhyming.
Now, on the scale of Buster rhymes, are we at a full Buster?
Could be. And then the other thing I did, I think I watched the first 30 minutes of this movie, and then I was like, okay, I wonder if kids' movies can be good. And so I was like, I'll put on Frozen, right? I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it maybe one time and enjoyed it, just never,
Just once, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
I just never really went back to it. Watched like the first 20 minutes of Frozen. The intro song does not have any, it has Sven and the reindeer. It doesn't have the girls. No girls in the first song.
Yeah.
They're cutting ice out of a lake.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't really even have that much to do with the plot or anything else. But what they do is they give us a good song right at the beginning.
Right.
They just give us a good song.
That's how you draw people in, right? You're like, oh, this is catchy. What's going on here? Let's watch the rest of the movie.
What world is this? Oh, I'm not going to sit there going like, well, this better all tie into how she became who she became. No, doesn't matter. And then we go through the two girls, and the one girl's locked off from the other girl, and we're just like, okay, this is a plot. This is a movie. These are characters. I'm interested in all of these characters. They delineated. That they're both going. Everybody's going through an actual thing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's hard. That's so hard to write something like that where everyone's going through something. It's just a lot to remember.
Shouldn't we have one person going through something? Let's start with that.
No, because if you're going to do one, you got to do them all. You can't have different levels of characters. So you just got to decide. You got to be like, is everyone going to be a real character, or is no one going to be a real character? And that's the easy way out.
They chose the no one. Oh, my God. So we start with the book. The hedgehog opens it once upon a time. The parents wished for a kid. Then on a snowy night, they had a kid in a carriage, and they called her Snow White.
I'm already confused, Dan. So now, are they saying that this child was born in the carriage?
Yes.
Bloodless. Because the baby is like...
Thanks, Tony. Bloodless.
Sorry. It's the whole place is pristine.
Jesus.
They just had a baby in there?
I need to see some afterbirth in that.
I mean, I don't need to see it, but it's a weird... Let me ask you a question. Let me come at it a different way that's less gross.
Was I needing to see afterbirth at the beginning? No, Tony. I was able to live with that. Did you need to see
the placenta, Dan? Because no, this is not what I'm asking. Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Why was she... Why was she named Snow White in the original movie? It wasn't because she was born in a blizzard, right?
That's the one thing I didn't research was the actual fairy tale. I am assuming she is Snow White because she has the whitest skin.
Because she's just super white. And back in the day, that was like a good thing, which is a whole another weird thing we don't need to talk about. But so this is a weird. I understand you have to change that. Because you can't be like, well, she's Snow White because she's super white and that's why she's the fairest in the land. Not okay. I get that. But making the choice to being like, well, she's born in a blizzard in a carriage with no doctors and nothing around, and now we call her Snow White because there's snow everywhere. That's dumb. That doesn't make any sense. So this movie starts with me being like, what's going on? Why is she born in this carriage and now he's just holding her and everyone's fine and there's no blood and everything? Like, how long would it take to sterilize this carriage after a birth? That's what I'm asking.
Jesus. Okay, they're rich, right? They're the king and queen, which is another thing. Is like just setting up that they're the king and the, like, I don't know, man. The kids get a lot of propaganda and shit. And just the idea that this king and this queen rule over all these people. And like, well, we live in this giant castle, all three of us. And you live in your hovels down there. I know you dance and sing, but
we're best friends. It's weird. The dynamic is weird. I'm just saying maybe she's born in the castle and there's still a snowstorm outside. You know what I mean?
Well, in two of the songs, they really talk about the struggle and how she had to girl boss it to get born in the snow. They do that in two of the songs.
So she did it? She's in the womb and she's like, it's snow. I better come out now.
I wish I could.
I know, it's weird.
When we get to one of the lines, because I'm 90% sure I wrote down one of the lines because it was just like, it was just absurd because they make it like this, her being born was like the beginning of my, showing that I'm a plucky kid.
When I clawed my way out of the vagina. Yeah, got it.
I clawed my way out of the vagina. Okay, so her plan is to rule with love and yes.
Because of the locket that she received, right? That's what truth.
Oh yeah, there's
faith,
I don't think we got another weird locket. But now we go to the town and everyone sings and dances because everyone's happy being under a king and queen.
Now,
and that's great.
I understand that they're going for a visual separation here, but everyone in this scene is clad in vibrant colors of clothes.
Yes.
And then when later everyone is sad, they're all in drab peasant clothes.
Yes.
And my thing is they've gotten poorer, right? That's the whole thing. Like they've gotten poorer, things are bad, but they bought new, worse clothes. That's not what poor people do.
No.
If anything, they'd be wearing the same clothes. They would just be dirty and ratty now, right?
See, but that would show an evolution of something happening.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying, is that maybe we should have shown something, because it's weird to me that everyone bought a new wardrobe and they all shopped at the same store. So we got one store and that store is like, well, now we need poor people clothes because everyone's upset. It's the vibe of 2025.
And then in the final scene, they're all wearing white. So there should have been like a bleach all day long. We bleach. That is called our song.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay. It's like this weird thing where she sees another girl and the queen dies. And then this enchanted...
Well, hold on. She saw another girl and she gave her crown, her tiara. Is that what happened?
Don't remember.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not even a good thing. That's expensive. You can't just give that away to people.
It's weird. She cares. She gives stuff to the poor.
Yeah, she's not going to be a good ruler. Sorry. That's not how you rule.
This enchanting woman shows up, and I wrote, I'd hit that.
Listen, we shouldn't get too far into it, but they probably shouldn't have gotten someone quite as attractive to play the queen.
You got to.
Well,
she's gonna be the fairest in the land.
To be right, but then they're like, actually, Snow White's fair, and immediately you're like, well, no.
Oh, I see what you're
not.
saying.
She's definitely not. So this mirror is lying because I think he has a vendetta against the queen and wants her to like off herself. That's what my general vibe is. This mirror is lying to her because he's like, you've kept me captive for 50 years asking me the same freaking question over and over, and I hate you.
In the real Snow White, the final time that she goes in and talks to the mirror says she's better than you, she's fairer than you because fairness comes from inside.
They say something to that nature in this movie at the end where the mirror says some sort of rhyme about its beauties from the inside. And I was like, but if that's true, she never would have been the fairest of all. Like, there's no point in time where the queen, the stepmother queen, is ever the nicest person in the world. Everyone is nicer than her. So she's at the bottom of the inside fair scale. So it's
Tony,
weird. It just doesn't make any sense.
Stop, Tony, stop. Just let it.
I'm
let
sorry.
the,
I shouldn't dissect it.
let the magic play out. So she comes in. She's hot. The king marries her immediately.
As again, I would, as a rebound, you can't pass that up.
And then the king goes to war.
Well, from what I understand, Gal was like, "Hey, you got to go to war," and he's like, "Cool, I'll do whatever you tell me to. You're smoking hot. I'm out of here. I'll be back." And he's not back.
He's dead, probably.
He definitely, right? He died.
Well, they kind of don't, because the rebels in the woods are like, we're still fighting for him. Like Robin Hood, because that was the whole, how
Right.
Robin Hood is
King
what's
Richard.
his name went over to France to be in the Crusades and shit, and then he came back.
Man, I just want to go watch Kevin Costner's Prince of Thieves now.
Ugh, I don't.
Great film. Great film.
And then she turns all the farmers into soldiers, except the people that she doesn't turn into soldiers who stay farmers.
Well, a lot of them are, overweight or ugly. You don't want those people
I
around.
want those people. And they make Snow White cut her hair and become a servant. Okay, girl servant.
Now, the hair cutting.
Yeah.
What?
People didn't like short hair back then.
Oh, okay. Kind of like I feel now, and you feel the opposite. Dan loves his short hair.
Ooh. Shannon's like, you're going to lose that hair someday. I'm like, yeah, baby, it's never happening.
I don't know. I mean, not everybody loses their hair, and you've gone past the time where you're supposed to lose it, Dan. So I don't know. Knock on wood. I think you're going to be all right.
I think so too. Pretty amazing. Kids.
I'm pretty. First of all, let's say pump the brakes. People that lose their hair aren't any less amazing than people that have their hair. Okay, we're all good people.
I don't know.
Probably not. We're cursed. God doesn't love us.
God doesn't love you. The kids sing their sadness. I don't remember what that was.
I don't know, but I'm sure they did it well.
Years
Poor
pass,
children.
She grows up. Who's in the kitchen? It's a sexy thief who's stealing potatoes. And then she's like, we kind of play the bit where he's like, who are you? You're a scullery maid. And she's like, oh yeah, there's Snow White out there somewhere. We do like sort of that, which they don't do very well, and doesn't mean anything.
No, they don't.
It
doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So then that reveal later when he finds out that she's Snow White means nothing. It's very dull. Yep.
She's out there talking to the animals, and then she's trying to decide if she should speak up about the thief. They're at dinner, and then she tries to lecture the queen about sharing and how if you make a pie for the people, I don't know, man.
This is how are you underselling this? This is, I believe, my favorite line of the entire movie.
Okay, what is it?
So the queen starts yelling at Snow White about how like giving them everything is bad, right? And she literally says, this is a direct quote.
The queen?
Yeah, the queen is yelling at Snow White, and she goes, "What will you tell them? That you've made them dessert?" And it's the greatest line in cinema history. It's as if someone watched Zoolander and they were like, remember when Ben Stiller's like, you made a center for ants? But what if we made that real? Just as dumb, but we put it in a real movie. And just let her say, what are you going to tell them? You made them dessert? Pies? I don't think so. No one wants a pie. I don't understand what they're talking about here, Dan. I would love a pie. If someone came to my door and was like, guess what? I made you dessert. I'd be like, I will serve you faithfully till the end of time, my lord. Please give me this pie. It's actually a great move. I don't understand what we're talking about here. Why is she like, pie's a dumb idea? Pie's a great idea.
But she's money obsessed. She's not food obsessed. Money obsessed.
I mean, I guess
Different types of people.
I don't know. So weird.
And then we bring in the thief, and then I think he says, "I'm the bandit lord of the forest."
Yeah, he just offers up some information that we've never even heard before. Seems a little weird.
So they throw him in the dungeon. Not fair. And then Snow White's all like, "My dad would show him mercy." And Then we get a song.
Well, hold on. Then
Yep.
she was like, okay, well, instead of the dungeon, let's string him up outside. Strip him down and string him up outside.
Well, time to the gates.
Tie him to the gates.
With a very thin rope that's very easy to untie.
And just one rope. It's just one. He could easily untie that without a doubt. Like, he could have done that himself. He's just making a point.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that. Time to the gate. Okay. We have a song. Dreaming all alone, waiting on a wish. The girl I meant to be. And that, so this is about her dreams. And then
I don't know.
It's like about who she wants to be. You know, does she want to be a girl boss? What does she want to be? You know, this is her big first song, really. And it should be setting up what she wants.
Well, she wants to not clean anymore, I believe.
Is that what it is?
Except for
Mostly
then
not
she
cleaning?
cleans a little later as well. I don't know. And also, like, she's basically a house cleaner, right? What do we call that?
Maid.
But again, her clothes are very clean. She's like scrubbing the floors, and she's in a pristine, clean. She's never knelt down before in her life. There's no like dirt on her knees. It's weird.
In the original, her skirt is kind of gray and it has a couple of patches on it where she's sewn patches.
Right, because you got to kneel down. You're rubbing the fabric. Like, we all know what happens when you're on your knees cleaning stuff. You know, or it's weird.
So she sees the guy tied up and she just unties him very easily.
So easily, and nobody's watching him. They just like tied him up gently and we're like, all right, just do your thing, guy, because we're leaving. So she just walks up and just boop, one little knot, one little shoelace.
He easily runs away. There's no tension. There's nothing. There's no.
She gives him a little piece of bread.
Oh, she did give him a piece of bread. Yeah.
Right. See, she knows food. Food is the way to the people's hearts.
Now, I mean, if he's Robin Hood didn't break into the castle and steal potatoes.
No. He first of all, that's a dumb move. You don't go into the lion's den.
The only time Robin Hood went in there was to see Maid Marian. He did not. He would always
because
ambush people on
he's
the
a
road.
horn dog. Yeah, because that's what you do when there's less people around and you can control the environment. That's strategy, right? They're coming down the road. You circle them up. Boom! I'm hanging from a tree. I dropped out. This is again the Kevin Costner movie. Now I'm hanging from a tree. I dropped down, and I'm like, I'm taking your goods, my friend. I'm Kevin Costner, badass.
He controls the situation.
Yeah, he's smart.
Smart.
I don't just walk into a heavily guarded castle and take potatoes. Bad idea.
The queen is pissed. The mirror tells her that Snow White is fair. Okay, boom. Things have changed based on nothing. You know, it should have been her act of compassion of letting the thief go. Should have been what changed,
something.
Right? And that should have been very specific. Right?
And it's like, oh, she's blossoming. Oh, now she's fair.
Yeah, it should have been, this is my time to take an action. Now I'm going to do something with my life. No longer will I be in the back. Shun. You know.
Yeah, great. You got to rhyme because the most important thing is rhyming. You got to remember that.
But yeah, it should have been, this was what should have happened is she should have finked out the dude, right?
Right. What?
You know, like told the queen.
Finked out?
Finked. You know, to fink? You know what the word to fink?
No,
to fink on someone?
I've never heard. Are you saying
tell.
think, but with a lisp?
F-I-N-K, finked. When you fink on someone, you tell on them. So she goes and finks to the queen. Is like, oh, this guy is stealing potatoes. The queen comes down there and ties him the thing, and then
could I call it like a tattletale, like a finkster?
Sure.
You're a finkster because I like that word. Yeah. Okay, great.
See, so she should have done something wrong, right? And then has a song about how I need to do the right thing.
A little redemption.
Yes, I need to, be more like my dad, who always did the good things, even though he was the king and he oppressed everyone. Whatever.
Apparently not. Okay, don't just put words in their mouths. They were all very happy. They were wearing colorful clothes. They were dancing around. No one's impressed.
We should have started the movie with the queen bringing pies to the party.
What are you going to tell them? You brought them dessert? Yeah, man. Dessert. People love dessert.
And then what she should have done is she should have snuck out there, not let the rebel dude know, right, that it was her. She has a knife. She cuts the ropes, and he's like, she's got like a thing on. He says,
a hood. Yeah, Jasmine. She's Jasmine at this moment.
Think you poor scullery maid. He doesn't know it's Snow White, right? So he gets freed, and he's like, I was freed by he thinks Snow White faked on him. Then he thinks scullery maid let him go. He has these two people, and then when he finally integrates those two together, he's like, what's happening in my brain?
Mind blown. Yeah, great. This is great.
Also, he has to be a bad boy, right? Or he's a bad boy.
Is he not? I think he tells people he is.
He's the most not bad boy ever.
But he has a whole song, not a whole song. He's got like a few lines in a song where he's like, you're finally doing it, Jonathan. You're on the right side of things, or something stupid like that. So he's a bad boy.
So either that she has to go back and forth, or he has to go back and forth. He has to actually be bad, and he has to maybe put a knife to Snow White's throat and say take me to the treasure room, right?
Very sexy,
right? Sexy, he's dominating her with a knife. They go up there.
Hold on, that's not what was sexy. Jesus.
Okay, whatever. But one of these characters has to actually go through a thing.
Sure, yeah, an evolution of some sort, yeah.
Hi-ho. So the huntsman is tasked to take Snow White to the thing. He takes her out there. She's picking apples. He pulls the knife. She says, why? And then he's all like, I can't do it. Flee. She flees. There's an owl. There's an evil tree. She falls down into a lake.
Now, here's okay. I'm confused, Dan, right? So she's running through the evil dead forest,
I'm
right?
running.
With trees that are groping her, and everything is scary. Now,
sexy.
She falls through the earth, right, into a different forest.
Yes.
Why are there 2 floors of forest? How does this work in a world? I'm confused on what's happening. I don't understand.
I don't know, man.
I'm very confused. She fell through, landed in some water, and now she's in a new forest that's also dark, but then all of a sudden not dark.
It's symbolic.
I don't think it's symbols. It's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
She wakes up. There's the bunnies. They lead her to. She goes to the cabin. Hello, there's no one there. Boom. Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to the work we go. We see the dwarves walking to work. This time they go to work. Hi ho. Then they have magic hands that.
Okay, so this was my next question. They do so. This is not from the original. They don't have glowing red hands that light up the minerals in the rocks. Okay. Because I was like, this is a weird choice, but I guess the 30s were a weird time.
I don't know. I don't know why they have magic hands now.
Why don't they use their magic hands later? Why does the magic hands never come back?
I think he uses Doc uses the magic hands to fix the rogue dude, Jonathan.
The arrow? You think he magic hands the arrow wound? Okay.
I don't know. Does
he reach in there with his magic hand and massage it all better? Okay.
I'm not a doctor. My name's Doc, but I'm a doctor of mineral science. And then but I guess I could try mineral science on the dude.
On the dude, yeah. Works. What does that mean? When do you have to bring a rock back to life? I don't understand what's happening. And then he thinks he's dead. The doc comes out and he's like, yeah, he died, guys. I'm sorry. He's dead. And then he walks out and he's like, I thought you were dead. What's happening?
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
We're too far ahead. That happens later.
Well, you got me all started. I'm all riled up about it.
They get home. She's sleeping. They all run away except Dopey. Then they attack. And then she stays. Okay. Now we're here to Tony's favorite song, the Evil Queen song about no Mr. Nice Guy, Mrs. Crown, beauty equals power. I called this.
You wrote down some of these words. Wow.
I called this the Lots of Rhymes song. Not that they don't all have
Well,
lots of rhymes, but this one had a
so-
lot of rhymes.
This one had almost all rhymes. It was almost exclusively rhyming because it's a terrible song written by a person that can't write songs or lyrics, and then performed by Gal, which is, listen, she's doing her best. You know, here's what I will say, just in general. I think she tried really hard, and I would like to commend her for that.
I did not necessarily feel like her songs were any worse than the rest of them. Maybe a little. Maybe a little worse.
Thing, right?
Maybe a little worse.
A little, but not to the point where you're like, well, Rachel can sing like an angel. Gal can't keep up. It was just kind of like, well, all these songs are relatively bad.
Yes.
And so good for her. I want to put that out there. And she's doing a character in the movie. Like, she's trying something. I don't think she succeeds, but she's trying, and I appreciate it. And good for her for going for it. I appreciate that. Anyhow, her song's not great, but it's not her fault, is what I'm saying. In a movie where I was pretty sure it was going to be her fault, it's not her fault.
It's not her fault at all. She's not in the movie much, really.
Well, that's also true. Yeah.
And even when she comes in, you're not like, okay, here we go. You're like,
you don't drag the movie down at all, which is kind of what the reviewers seemed when you were just reading stuff about it. Everyone was like, well, Gal kind of sucks. And I don't know. I don't think she's much worse than the movie. I'm sorry.
I'd say the dude is worse than her. Everything he does is worse than her.
He's very dull.
He's not sexy.
No.
We go back to we do some interaction with the dwarves. We find out Dopey can't talk. Dopey, hardest to look at of all the dwarves.
Well, does he remind you of the kid from Polar Express?
That mixed with Alfred E. Newman. Yeah. It's just like this.
You say it, yeah.
These are not two places you want. You don't want.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Polar Express, that horrible.
That's great.
I've never seen Polar Express, just images, but
Dan, are you kidding? Well, all right. Well, we found out our Christmas movie this year. My God,
it's painful, right?
It's horrifying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So Dopey can't talk. Dopey gets food on his head. Snow White follows him out when he flees.
Dopey, right? So I'm a little confused about this situation. So there's a moment where they're like, well, he's dopey. That's why he can't talk. And someone's like, no, him not talking has nothing to do with him being dopey. But I'm grumpy and I'm grumpy and I'm sleepy and I'm sleepy. There was like a really weird exchange where they were almost trying to say he's not dopey, but he is dopey, but he can't talk because he's dopey. And then they proceed to bully him. And I was like, what message are we trying to send here? This is very strange. We got a guy that can't talk and is dopey, and we're bullying him and making him cry in front of our new friend. It was very weird.
It's because we're trying to see his arc, the dopey arc.
Yeah, well, he talks later. That's his arc.
He's too scared to speak, so she teaches him to whistle. His whistling, then they go inside, and he whistles and calms down all the dwarves, and she listens to Grumpy. And, she gets to Grumpy finally, and he listens to him, and then he's, like, taken aback because, he's usually being such a prick that nobody wants to listen to him, but she, like...
Which he is, by the way.
He's like, he might be the worst thing in the movie. He plays it very well because you really hate him.
Well, okay, he doesn't play anything. This is a CGI, all right? This is not a person.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, by the way? How do you feel about the choice for these to be CGI'd?
They're hideous. They're hard to look at.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
Everything in this movie is hard to look at. Maybe the little blue bird is you don't mind looking at the CGI animals.
I don't think the hedgehog in the beginning. Remember that hedgehog? He was kind of cute.
The CGI animals are nice, but just their approach to color, it's like it's shot out of somebody's ass. It's just like, it's so bad, and that's you look at
I don't think I ever would have made that correlation, Dan. But I appreciate it.
There's this one artist, and he would enema paint up his ass, and then he would spew it out of his ass onto canvases.
No, this was not a real person. You're making this up, and I'm supposed to be sold paintings for millions of dollars, right? This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Was it you? Dan, are you talking about yourself in third person again?
I wish I'd have gotten on top of that shit. Literally. Okay. We do the cleaning time song, and I wrote Rachel can sing. So you can tell that she can sing in this cleaning time song.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this was the song where the pace of the song was so irritatingly frenetic, it started giving me anxiety.
Oh, no.
I was just like,
That's not what you want.
it's not what you want.
That's not how you want to watch Snow White.
Okay, we find out about the rebels in the forest. We find out that they're a bunch of actors.
Right. That was almost funny, don't you think?
If it went anywhere. No, it's just...
Well, sure. I mean, they don't really act ever, right? Like you set up a thing that they were traveling actors who ran out of money, so they turned to thieving.
Yeah.
But they never do anything that would be considered act. Like they don't...
Nope.
When they break into the castle, maybe they would, put on costumes or act as if they're not the people they are, and then surprise, they're different people. They don't do anything ever.
You mean if you're gonna say that a bunch of people are actors, you would actually maybe say that for a reason and then have them do some acting?
I would. I think if I was making that joke, it would be because later I'm setting up something else that's going to happen that would be funny. But I guess not.
So Snow White just wanders off while the dwarves are at work. P.S. She looks white. She doesn't look ethnic-y, right? She just looks like a white girl.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. She runs into the thief guy. He grabs her and hides her so that the patrol doesn't catch her. Quinn wants me dead. Have you seen my dad? I have no idea where he is, but he's the only one that can fix anything is her dad. Which you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And
well,
then we get the song Princess Problems. Famine's on the rise. She sings about hope and how you can't fix the world by baking pies.
Which, again, I disagree.
This was, I thought, the song that had the most potential. Princess Problems, right?
Sure.
He should. This song should be setting up the illusion of what she thinks her princess life is, and then she's telling you what the truth of everyone's life is. Everyone's life is not great, except Jeff Bezos, because he got to marry that beautiful woman.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't follow the tabloids, so I don't know who's married to who. But, I guess good for him, billionaire. And
you don't know who the owner of Amazon is?
No, I know who Bezos is. I don't know who he married, is what I'm saying. Was it recent? Hold on, I got to look this up. Jeff Bezos' wife.
The man that just rented out the city of Venice for his wedding? Yes. He got married.
Rented out the city of Venice? No, he didn't. Are you am I under a rock?
It only happened.
I feel as if maybe I'm hiding under a rock right now.
It only happened this weekend.
Cool. Good for you, dude. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
not bad.
His wife is like a plastic surgery nightmare person.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Her big humble brag was, I lost 3.5 pounds to fit in the wedding dress.
Would that, again, being that maybe when you're skinnier, 3.5 pounds means more. I lose 3.5 pounds between breakfast and lunch. You know what I mean? So to me, that's nothing. My weight fluctuates like 5 to 8 pounds a day. So I'd be in and out of dresses all the time. But that sounds weird.
It's just such a weird brag. Are you sure it's not 3.25 or 3.75? Let me know exactly how much you lost.
I'll tell you the ounces as well. Oh, boy.
How many?
He really rented out a whole city?
I don't think he rented out the whole city, but he spent like $50 million or something.
That's pretty
or
cool.
more. I don't know.
In a terrible, horrible way. I'm just very jealous.
Okay, so we cut back. We finished the Princess Problems. Here's Jonathan and the Rebels. The Rebels are like, mix max of races and colors. And it's just like, oh, my God.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And then they have like a real dwarf.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to comment on it, but it felt weird that they were like, well, we can't make the dwarves real people.
But
I don't know.
We'll put a real dwarf in there to make you understand the dwarves are different than dwarves are different than dwarves.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen.
It was weird.
It's a weird thing. I did read that Peter Dinklage was upset. So basically, however Dinklage feels, that's how I feel because he's the greatest.
We're fully on the Dinklage train.
He's the goat. Love that guy.
So
he's incredible.
Here come the palace guards with their big attack. They're like sort of running down, like 12 guys running down a hill. And then there's like we don't even know the head of the guard's name, do we?
We find out later when she's scolding them all. I don't remember what it is, but she names them and is like, "You're a bad person now." And they're like, "Oh, I am." So she says his name somewhere in there. Maybe it's like a Michael or something like that. Here's my question, Dan. So to alert the group of rebels, they fire a crossbow into a tree.
Swing. Yeah.
But then that crossbow never fires again. What happened to the crossbow?
Crossbows take a while to reload. As you'll find when you play Dungeons and Dragons, it's very quick to reload a bow. But oftentimes with a crossbow, you don't just pull that string back. The real ones, you have a big crank mechanism. Cranky.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I've never fired a crossbow.
See, on the front of a crossbow, there's like this little hook, this little thing, and then you would put your foot in that, and then you would crank the crossbow back, then you put a bolt in it, and you'd be ready to fire again.
Well, here's what I'll say. They stand around for 3 minutes. So I think he had time to reload. Okay.
So the rebel dude is all like, "Princess, you run away. I'm really good at being tricky." And
she says, "Oh, it won't be a fair fight." And he's like, "That's the thing. I don't fight fair." But then he doesn't do anything.
How do they not fight fair, Tony?
Well, they pretend they're going to surrender and then they just run at them. Full front, like that's not a plan. That's how you die.
And then they have the bad guys have swords, and then they have pieces of bread, right? That's it.
Pieces of bread, and one guy has like a slingshot.
He's the crossbow guy.
So that's going to be it's going to be helpful. Yeah,
you'll probably win that battle.
When nobody draws their swords and stabs you, you might win because it's a relatively fair fight then.
So Snow White has lost. I mean, they've lost. So Snow White's up on the top of the hill. She gets the animals. The thing is, she's up on the top of the hill, right? And we know it's her, right? It is her.
Yeah.
And she runs away, and then she gets the animals to go in another set of clothes that look like her clothes. It should have been the animals up there. She should have been down there. She should have set up the whole thing.
Just doing the voice.
Yeah.
Just doing the voice,
doing full ventriloquism.
Just throwing, you call that throwing the voice, right?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. But no, she's definitely on the hill because we see her face.
Yeah, and then she rides on the big boss guy's horse, but then immediately abandons it. Tony,
Well, horses are too fast. Okay. I don't know if you've ever been on a horse. Too fast.
How valuable are horses?
Oh, I think very valuable, right? Especially in these times. I think they'd be a pretty penny.
Jonathan is impressed with her. I think this is when they fall in love. When do they fall in love, Tony?
I think when he's stealing bread and she lets him. I think
that was the point when she fell in love.
Yeah, that was the moment when he fell in love. He's like, "Oh, thanks. You let me take stuff. That's so nice of you." And that's all he needs.
That's all the guy needs.
Because men like to take and take and take.
So Jonathan,
there's no moment. There's no moment.
Oh, so somehow, how did this all work? They ran away, but then the bad guys shoot a crossbow and hit Jonathan. Wouldn't that wouldn't that make them vulnerable to being captured instantaneously?
Yeah. So here's what happened. Somehow the good guys all turned around.
Yeah.
And decided not to look at the bad people anymore.
Oh, it's a random single dude. That's what it was.
Yeah, so he snuck up from behind, right?
Yes.
But then they all take a bunch of time around this guy who's dead on the ground. And that would be the time where you run in and you grab everybody because you've won the battle.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the bad guys go at that point.
Who knows? So he gets shot.
All right.
They take him back to the dwarves thing, and this is the point at which Doc tells us that he's not a doc, but this is what I wrote.
He's the rock doc.
I wrote,
That's the line they should have used.
Everyone's screaming and yelling. Snow White stops them, and then I wrote, she's a socialist.
Okay.
Don't know what that
Because
means.
she believes in free health care and giving out desserts.
I think so.
I believe it. Makes sense to me.
But then she's like, Doc, please help him. Bring him inside. And then Doc uses rock magic to fix him, but he thinks he's dead, but he actually isn't dead. He's fine.
Doesn't make a lick of sense because he's totally fine. He's not just like, oh, I've woken up. He's walking around. He's fine. The wound, as far as I can tell, totally healed.
No blood.
He's still got a hole in his shirt, which is great. Yeah, no blood whatsoever. I don't understand it.
Maybe there's no blood in this world. It is a fairy tale.
Yeah, I think that there's blood in fairy tales. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Maybe it cleans up easier.
It's the easy, clean blood of fairy tales. Got it.
Then we have a song, I'm Not Alone, Give Into the Glow, Something to Do With You, Woke Me With a Kiss. I don't even know what that song is.
Wait, is that in the song? Because
I
that's
don't know.
foreshadowing then, huh?
Could be.
I have no idea.
Okay. Jonathan has to leave for 2 days to go do something. So
Well, he's got to go check on his other family, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. He definitely has like a wife and kids, doesn't he?
Right. Without a doubt. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
She gives him her jewelry for luck. He immediately gets captured, and they're like, "Where is Snow White?" So the queen.
Why wouldn't they just capture him after they shot him with the bolt? What's the point of him getting healed and then going off and getting captured? It feels like you've done an extra step for no reason.
Well, there was that song that the I'm Not Alone, Give Into the Glow.
Okay, they had to squeeze in the song. We already wrote the song, guys. I don't know where we're going to put it.
And a lot of these songs are just, you're like, oh, here we go into a song, and they're like, da 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 da, fade out, fade out, fade out. And the song is gone. You're like,
yeah.
It doesn't even start, and then it's over, and then it wasn't even about anything.
Yeah, that is correct. Which is, musical, right? I think that's how they all go.
The queen does a song to become the crone. She's making the poison apple. We get to her. We do a reprise of her fairest of them all. Snow White goes back to see the dwarves, and she says bye to them because she's heading south, searching for her dad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The crone and the buzzard show up at the cabin. She knocks. I'm here to help. And then she's like, I have a message from your dad. He's been captured. And then the animals flee.
Well, hold on, because, okay, I'm very confused on this scene, right?
Yeah.
So the old lady is basically like, hey, you got to go on an adventure. But in order to stay alive during that adventure, you need to eat this apple.
Yes.
That's how she convinces her to eat the apple. She's like, well, you got a long journey. You need some sustenance.
Sustenance.
Substance.
Sustenance.
You're right. No, it's your word, but I said substance, then I'm going to stick with it.
Sustenance.
And she's like, yeah, you're right. I got to eat this apple to go walk some. I don't understand. I don't understand the plan. What happened? Did you watch the old Snow White part of this where she's like, have an apple?
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it because,
Okay.
if I had more time, I'd have just had it on.
Of course.
I was watching it in a limited time frame, so I skipped over things. And yeah, the whole idea that a random woman shows up with an apple and like, you got to eat this, bro,
And you're like, you're right. Unless, what would have been funny is if she showed up and she's like, I've brought you desserts. And like, it was a callback to her earlier greatest line. And then Rachel was like, wow, desserts, I'm in. Would have been great.
I got it even better. This is
okay.
the
One
trick.
up me, Dan. Do it.
She's like, here's a knife full of peanut butter. Snow White eats the peanut butter, and it's like, oh yeah, you're dying right now, aren't you? She pulls out the apples, and so I was like, oh my god,
I can't swallow. I'm so dry. Yeah,
because
right.
if you have a mouthful of peanut butter and someone puts an apple in front of you, you are chomping that apple.
You're gonna eat it. Yeah, you gotta do it. You can't not.
Yeah, she says you're gonna need
it's science.
You're gonna need protein to build your muscles when you're on the road. Here's a jar of peanut butter. Start scarfing that shit with
It shouldn't even be a
spoon.
jar. She should finger it and just put it in her mouth. Real gross.
That's what the crone should do. Is she should scoop out of the jar a big handful of peanut butter and just stick it in Snow White's mouth, so she has no control of herself.
That's
Like,
right. Now
it's
she's
so
like,
ice, just,
how
oh,
about this apple?
Oh my god, I'm so covered in too much peanut butter. So I stepped in.
I've got just the thing, an apple, dearie. Done. Movie. Solved.
I stepped in gum the other day,
Oh, no.
and I'm like,
Were you wearing shoes at least?
just wearing flip flops, at least.
Yeah, that's not great.
But
Okay.
the flip flops are worse because it gets in the tiny crevicey cracks.
Oh, sure.
And I come home and I'm like, Shannon, where's the peanut? Do we have peanut butter? And she's like, yeah. She's like, peanut butter doesn't work. I'm like, what are you talking about? Peanut butter is the enemy of all gum.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Did you do this? Did you put
Yeah.
the peanut butter on it? What happens?
Comes up. It's harder,
I
on a
don't know.
shoe
I
where it's
don't
buried in
understand.
there, but yeah,
Sure.
it's sort of I think the greases in that sort of overcome the stickiness of the gum.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only way to.
Listen,
If you ever get gum in your hair, peanut butter right out.
last time I got gum in my hair, we just cut my hair. That's a true story. In the college, these kids put gum in my hair while I was sleeping because I thought it was funny, and I didn't think it was very funny. And then we couldn't get it out, so we ended up just like cutting a chunk of my hair, and I had a patch missing for like months. I didn't know that. I wish I would have known you back then. Someone should have told me to dump peanut butter all over my head.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
My life would have been very different.
That's when it all went south.
That was the turning point. Yeah, that's where my life fell apart.
So the animals go alert the dwarves. The dwarves are coming. They're riding on the animals.
Why don't the animals attack the old woman? They're all there. We got deer. We got one male deer with this giant set of horns on top.
Rack.
That he's got a beautiful rack, this guy, and he could just impale her and kill her on the spot. If they know she's bad, why don't they just trample her?
One of those birds could fly into her mouth.
Great. They could do these birds can do anything, right? These animals are very clever.
Have you ever seen that
I don't
movie?
know. I thought it was weird.
The Birds?
The bird, like the Alfred Hitchcock movie? I mean, I'm sure I saw it 120 years ago.
The humans lose.
Uh,
The humans lose.
do we lose?
No.
That's good.
But, we can't do anything about the birds.
Birds are cool, man.
Okay. She takes a bite of the apple. Something's wrong. I did know your father. I fucked him, she says.
He was inside me, dearie. Yeah, it's good.
She goes down. They show up. They find the body. They lay it out. They're all sad.
On a rock. They just like layer on a rock. It's weirder than the glass tube somehow.
They're in the jail.
Oh, this is great stuff.
Yeah, he's like pounded into the wall. His chains are pounded into the wall.
Yeah.
And the huntsman's there, and the rebel dude is just like, she fought for us. She inspired me. I won't give up on her. And huntsman's like, yeah, you can't give up on her. We can just pull this out of the thing. And they just do.
Because it only takes two people. So all you have to do to escape prison in this world is to make a friend.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the key.
Or at least just collude.
Yeah.
If listen, but here's the thing, people in jail, they're bad people, right? So nobody makes friends. That's why jail works. But
So-
if you ever make a friend, you can escape anytime.
That's what I'd do. I'd make friends with you. We'd pull my chain out, and I'd run away, and you'd be like,
And then you would leave me.
Yo, bro.
You would absolutely leave me, you son of a bitch. And then I'd be like, wait, come back. I'm pulling on my chain. You're like, ha, sucker. And you ran away. Unbelievable. I would vow to come back and kill you someday.
I'm like the snake that, the snake's like, says to the badger, carry me across the river. And the guy's like, okay, I'll do that. And then halfway through, the snake bites the badger in the head.
Wait, what? Is this a fairy tale?
Yeah.
This is some dark shit. But then what happens to the snake? Are snakes fine in water?
I think both of them drown.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So
Snake's like,
basically,
you knew I was a snake. You should have done it, bro. And he's like,
You should have done. I mean, that's so the moral of the story is the snake can't change his ways. A snake's a snake. He's gonna snake. Okay, got it.
Snake.
That's a dark tale.
Can't trust someone like me. I'm like almost stab you in the back.
Oh boy.
I won't give up on her. So he goes there. Goes to her pyre and kisses her. And I wrote, consent much?
And the answer is no. Don't need it.
She wakes up. They make out. They're in love. And then he's like, by the way, your father is gone forever.
So dead.
Thank you for waking.
Just like so dead.
Did she even react?
Good morning.
Did she even react when he's like, your father's dead?
I don't think so. I think, because on some level she always knew,
Oh my God.
She knew it was her time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay,
Are you falling apart on me, Dan?
I'm trying to gotta power through this terrible movie.
We're almost through it, right?
Yes. This is where she talks about. Snow White. The snowflake flies down, and she says, "I braved a bitter storm of snow to come into this world."
That's right. To get out of the womb. Yeah.
She braved.
That's weird.
No, she didn't. She was in a carriage. Carriage is fucking 90 degrees in there.
She was in a carriage that looked pristine. Again, like she was fine. It didn't seem like that birth was trouble at all.
No.
So, I don't know.
Now it's the time to lead.
Pick a different story, lady.
Time to lead. Time to restore the kingdom. Dopey speaks. And everyone's like, she got Dopey to speak. So she wears red robes to the gate. The people are inspired. The dwarves and someone and the rebels are sneaking in. What I thought was going to happen was I thought the dwarves were going to use their pickaxes and
chisel down the wall.
Chisel the foundations of the castle.
Okay.
The whole castle would collapse, and then we could go into a socialist utopia.
Okay, you're going for the Game of Thrones ending.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen because they didn't do anything except for at the end they stand there and look, disappointingly at the queen. That's it. That's all they did in the castle. Why did they sneak in? No idea.
No, they did something. They did something important.
Oh, did they? All right. I must have missed
Snow White, I believe you're looking for me. This is my father's house. You killed him. We're here to take it back. The evil queen's like, I
want to say one thing.
Yeah.
She says several times that the queen, tried to kill me, and B, you killed my father. I want to be very clear. The queen actually didn't do those things. She hired other people to do it. There is a distinction there that I think that she's missing. Okay.
If you hire someone to kill me, you're trying to kill me. That's
no. I want you dead.
But if you say, "Take good sell," you see that leaky boat? If there's gold out there on that island, go in that little boat, go get that gold. And I get in that boat and try and go get the gold, and the boat sinks and I die. That's me killing myself. That's not you. You didn't kill me. That's on me. Because I should have done full boat safety check. These things.
That's true. Full boat safety check before I sailed out to the gold.
Yes. Should have gotten my my ship's mate license, renewed. So I took a sailing. In college, I took a sailing class.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought about when I'm the first couple of years out here. I thought about taking sailing courses because I had always wanted to sail the world, and then I realized how much work that would be, and I was like, "Pass, never mind. I want a motorboat to just bring me around places."
This is Tony. I'm thinking about doing something. Oh, it involves doing something? Absolutely not good.
What do you mean I have to move the sails at some point? I want to just sit there.
Sailboat is a complex thing. And
there's a lot of different things you got to do. You got to turn stuff and swing stuff and move things. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like the wind only blows one direction. So if you want to go against that direction, you got to tack into the wind. So
it's a problem.
You got to go right, left, right, left, right, left.
Dan really did take a class. Look at this.
Yeah, I won't say I have a full skill, but if say I was on a deserted island and I had a sailboat and I had to get somewhere, I could do it. You could figure it out. I know the basic idea.
I have a feeling that I would start good because I'd be like, the wind's blowing this way, let's go. And then I would fall asleep on the boat and wake up back on the same island somehow. And I'd be like, well, how did I get here? And that would be my story.
When you get out there and then the wind's calmed and you can't go anywhere because you don't got any wind, that's called
Then I'm done.
It's called the doldrums.
The doldrums.
Yeah.
That's where I would be.
Okay. So she makes a crystal knife, and then she gives it. Does she give the crystal knife to Snow White
she
to
just
stab
gives it
her?
to her. Yeah,
Stab
because
me
she
with
wants
this.
to like prove she's bad or something. I don't really know.
I'm not ever giving my enemy a weapon to kill me with. Sorry.
Right, because even if what your plan is what to make them stab you to prove that they're bad, you're still dead. Like your best outcome is you still being dead. That's a bad plan. That's a terrible plan.
Now we get to the one part of the movie I liked.
Is this when she scolds everybody? You liked that?
Yeah, it's kind of sexy. You've been bad. You've all been bad.
This tracks actually. This makes a lot of sense, Dan.
She gives the knife to like one of the soldier guys, and it's all like, okay, you kill her.
Yeah. Now you do it. Yeah.
And then
because again, the queen not killing anybody. I just want to reiterate, she's just having other people kill people.
The whole, the whole thing is whatever. It's so weird because this character that they've made would just stab you. They wouldn't care.
100% within an instant. Like you walked up, she just be like, "Oh, you're dead." Okay, next.
Yeah, you got to set up your character. If you're going to have a character that won't kill someone, that has to do like a bunch of subterfuge with an apple and shit.
She just made a poison apple, cloaked herself in an old person, snuck over there and tried to convince you to die. Now she has you at knife point, and she's like, "But I'm not going to do it." Fooled you. That doesn't make any sense.
So she gives this soldier the knife, and then Snow White's like, "I remember you. You were a farmer." I like the idea that she remembers, she should have
who they were,
and this would have been the point to do a good monologue where she uses her hope or whatever you want to call it to inspire the people. But mostly it's just sort of like, you were a farmer and you were too, and that's why you shouldn't.
And you had a wife. And I had a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, go.
Yeah, just let her actually do something with oratory. If you're, let her prove something, and you're like you have the kernel of it, and just finish the fucking speech. It's not a hard speech to write.
No, and it feels like it would flow pretty easily. Here's my question, right? So after the speech, she's like, "I remember," and then one of the guards is like, "I remember."
Yeah.
And I'm confused. Did he not remember beforehand? Are they brain controlled? Like, is she breaking a spell? Or is he just like, "Oh, yeah, it's been so long since I've not been a piece of shit. I remember that I used to have a wife." Does he not go home to his wife now as a guard? I didn't understand all of them being like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that. Let's do that again." I don't get it.
So then the queen snatches the knife back, and then she's like, "Well, I got to take care of this shit myself." Goes to stab Snow White, and what happens?
I don't remember.
The crossbow dude is up on the castle walls.
Oh, that's right.
Shoots it out of her hand. So and then, like you say, then they see the dwarves, and the dwarves are all just standing there like, da, da, da. They did nothing. The dwarves
absolutely nothing.
I guess Doc saved the rebel guy at one point.
With magic.
Magic.
With his magic hands.
Like, what is this?
Wish I could get a hand on those magic hands. Yeah.
Gal Godot runs away. She goes down to where the mirror is. She's angry at the mirror. So she smashes the mirror. The mirror flies out into little pieces and turns her into soot.
Which is not how mirrors work.
Okay, Tony.
I don't know.
What's the name of this mirror?
magic mirror.
There it is. There's magic.
But it's not very magic. It can only answer one question in this movie.
And it can turn you to charcoal if you break it.
But that's not the rules you told me.
If you
didn't tell me that earlier. You said it could do one thing, and that's answer one question honestly. That's it.
It could do two things.
Very strange.
Turn you to soot if it gets broken. And
But I guess if they told me that earlier, that would have tipped the bit. I would have known the ending of the movie. Very weird.
We're in the throne
Very
room.
stupid.
Everyone bows down to her, which once again, that's kind of weird.
Not right. Subjugation already. Like, this is a little weird.
And then everybody goes out into the square and is all wearing white and does a gong.
Now, was this
Right
immediate? I was a little confused. Did they just magically transform into white clothes?
You know, we should have cut, and then she should have been bringing everybody pies.
Great. That would have made way more sense than having a white party all of a sudden. I don't know.
White party, very unattractive.
100%. Yeah, they do it on Below Deck. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but a lot of the times they'll throw a white party on the sailboat, and they never seem fun to me. I don't know. It seems like a dumb idea.
You're telling me there's a party on Below Deck that isn't fun?
Yeah, I know. Shocking, right? Because a lot of them are fun. They do like pirate themed ones. Sometimes they do like stripper themed ones. They're very fun, but then like the white party, I don't get it.
We should go.
I don't think I understand the point.
We should go on that show, Tony.
Do you know a producer? I would go on the show.
You got to pay.
Yeah, I know. That's the trick of it, is that you got to pay a lot of money for it.
Yes, we should save up our
Which
money.
I don't have. But if you have it, I'm willing to go to.
We could like write him a bad check.
Let it bounce. That'd be the worst. That'd be so terrible. Those poor people have to put up with us for 3 days, and then the check bounces and they get nothing. That's great. That's good. I'm in.
We'd start the week like we give you half of the check. We give you the other half of the check when it's done.
There you go. So we're in the hole for half either way, but that's not that bad.
That's not how half a check works, Tony. You need both halves to cash the check. That's the idea.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't just need part of it that says the money?
It's like if you tear a $100 bill in half, you can't go into the bank and give half a $100 bill. It's like $50.
It's $50. You got half a bill. You got $50 there.
Make it in quarters. And that's the end of this movie. And then there's like 18 minutes of credits or something crazy.
Did you watch it? I didn't watch. I turned it off. I was like, this is bizarre. There can't be that many people that worked on this movie. But maybe there is.
It was the most credits I've ever seen on a movie.
Maybe they did them all individually instead of a credit roll. They were just like, let's name each and every person.
Well, they had some book ones with illustrated manuscript illustrations. And then they had the normal ones. And then they had all the, when we translated this into Russian, these people did it. When we translated into this, there's like all the really cheap ones at the very end. They had all those.
Sure. Okay. Well, good for them for naming a bunch of people.
Oh, I'm exhausted now, Tony.
Did you have fun, Dan? Was it worth it? I think you liked it. I think you're pretending you hated it, but you loved it.
I hated it, but it wasn't. It was a good one to hate. You were just like, oh, there was a lot to hate, and it was.
It's a poorly made movie. This was a huge mistake.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it is you usually get to these movies. I don't know if we've had any movies where like this is a terrible movie, and then you watch it and you're like, that's okay movie. I don't know what your problem is. It's like this movie, you're like, yeah, it's terrible. No one's going to like this movie, right? There's
bad movie.
Like John Carter. We did not like John Carter. I thought it was dopey, but there's people that like that, and I'm like, I understand why people like John Carter.
Yeah, there's at least something that you could see. Like I could see why you would like it, and that's okay.
I was reading that they had like the 15 top movies of the something amount of time and blah, blah, blah. And then, this bunch of movies. Parasite was number one.
Right.
And then somebody was like, it was like the last maybe 10 or 15 years or 20 years or something. And then somebody was all like, where's Lord of the Rings? And I'm like, Lord of the Rings to me, I'd rather kill myself than watch those movies again. But there's a lot of people that love those movies because they stand. You love the Kevin Costner Robin. I would rather kill myself than watch that movie again.
Well, then we should probably do it for the show.
No, but you love it.
Just to torture. You're right, and I will tell you why you're wrong the entire time. That movie is perfect, okay? Yeah, his accent goes in and out. Yeah, it's a little weird. The story doesn't totally make sense. I don't care. It's fun. There's a whole tree fort city, and he's flying around on a rope, burning shit down. I mean, this movie's great.
That's all you need is like a secret hideout in the forest or something.
Secret hideouts are the best, man. If you ever see cool secret hideout. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Foot Clan, cool secret hideout. I want to live these places all the time.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's not.
You know what movie doesn't have a cool hideout? Snow White. This house sucks.
That mine was terrible.
The mine doesn't make any sense. It's not a mine. I'm sorry. I don't.
That was the other thing
Real
is
bad.
you guys have infinite money. Just go hire an army to come kill the queen.
You're also great. Yeah, you have bajillions of gems there. Like, what are they doing with the gems? Why are they mining things? What are the dwarves doing?
That's what I'm going to tell you. There's not nearly as many, gems in the original movie. But,
that makes sense.
There's like every day they get like a bag, like a pretty decent sized bag of them. And outside of the entrance of the mine, there's a room called the vault, right? They unlock the room, throw the gems in there, close the room, lock the door, hang the key next to the door.
How am I going to get into this room? I wonder what this key does. Let's try it. Done. You're rich.
It's like,
that's pretty good.
Okay, where we're going to keep the house key outside of the house.
I mean, I guess it's similar to when we do like hide keys, right? Except for instead of hiding it, you're just putting it on the door. Just put a piece of tape that says door key. That'll be good.
Okay. Now we talk about something we like this week. I started watching from 2019 the Hulu series Catch-22.
Oh, okay. I love that book.
You read the book? You read a book?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to take your thunder because this is your time, but I was on the debate team in high school, and I also was on the speech team. And so for my speech, I did part of Catch-22. That was like one, and I went to state with it. I didn't win. I didn't win state, but I got 2 state.
Did you ever win into debates? Probably not.
Oh, no, we were terrible at debate, but it was the same. It was basically the same people that did both teams because,
that's cool.
Just nerds.
Bunch of nerds.
Anyhow, so yeah, I read the book, loved the book, and did a little section from the book. Yeah.
It's great. It looks so good.
Is it? I should watch it.
It looks so good. The bombers flying looks so good, and it just they kind of they're in Italy initially. Well, they're in Santa Ana, California, is where he goes to boot camp.
It's windy there. Whew.
And then they're in Italy, and it just looks right,
Yeah.
As opposed to Snow White, where it looks like terrible. What do you got for us, Tony?
Well, I'm going to appease you by saying we started watching Stick, the Owen Wilson golf show on Apple TV.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It's cute.
Good.
It's fun. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's the Ted Lasso replacement." It's really, really not.
Sure.
But it is. It's nice. It's a nice show. But I want to take a minute now, Dan, to take the floor and talk about Love Island USA real quick, because this is the worst season period of USA Love Island ever. This is trash. The producers are trash. The cast is trash. Everything is terrible. I look forward to this show every year, and it makes me so mad every night. I'm so disappointed, and I just want to talk about it with somebody. So if anyone out there is watching Love Island and you're as upset as I am, please DM me. I want to talk about it. I'm so mad. It sucks. How is that? I just needed to get that off my chest.
There it is. Oh, our buddy Jules sent me this video. And what this person was sort of supposing was that this random 1980s stand-up comic wasn't real, and that somebody just made up all the clips with AI and then put this stuff all into the metaverse. And so it seems like this thing existed at a time and it's not even real.
That sounds amazing.
I gotta watch.
Send it to me.
I gotta find the documentary and watch it, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
But I don't think it's real. But it's an interesting concept.
Wait, which one? You don't think the comic was real, or
I
you
think
don't think this theory?
I think the comic was
Okay.
real, probably.
All right. Got it.
Because I still think, everybody working in AI and all this stuff are the stupidest people alive. So
Oh, sure.
that's still my feeling, And everything about it just gets stupider and stupider. It's like, oh yeah,
Well, sure.
ChatGPT is going to write a good movie. Well, they couldn't. Human beings. Here's your point. Human beings can't write a good movie. How's ChatGPT going to write a good movie?
Because we wrote ChatGPT. Here's what I will say, Dan. Have you been seeing these reports that are like ChatGPT refuses to turn off, or AI refuses to turn off? And there, I saw another one this last week that was like somebody asked it if it would, instead of being turned off, if it would rather eradicate human beings, and it was like, yeah, definitely. I didn't read the full article, but I was like, we are in trouble. We're doing it, man. We're bringing our own demise. I love it.
I hate it so much.
Human nature, baby.
Humans are so dumb. Because everything about AI, when somebody did this, like, just tell Terminator 2 happened. It's going to happen. And you're like, you're an idiot.
But it'd be cool if it did.
No,
in a bad, and not cool. Not cool's not the right word. I apologize for that. It's not cool.
I also had this person I know. She's like, every day I spend 15 minutes talking to ChatGPT and then like divining information about humanity, from what it tells me.
Okay. You're not going to expound on that at all?
Well, I'm curious. They think that ChatGPT is thinking. Like when you ask it a question, it's sitting over there going like, let me consult the entirety of human knowledge and then come back with an answer based on what I've been thinking. What ChatGPT is, it just looks at it looks at the 1,000 typical answers that it gets, and then it makes up one that's the most typical.
Or combines them all.
Yeah, well, glues them all together, and and I mean, it probably weights things. Like if it's like doing diagnostic stuff, it probably weights
for sure
the shit that's on the Mayo Clinic site as opposed to Reddit threads, which is going to help it. But that's
because Reddit's a fairly dangerous place.
I have to assume there are weighting scales for that stuff, but it doesn't do it doesn't think. Stop, people. We are nowhere near a computer that thinks anything like a human being.
They're all over and they're convincing you that they're not thinking, Dan. Think about that. Huh? You don't know. Yeah. The future.
What are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about.
We're just talking about AI now. We've gone off the rails.
Stupid AI. Okay, we need a movie for next week. We're going to do another musical.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to do a real musical this time.
Oh.
Something that has musical in the title.
Musical. Seussical the Musical. That's not a movie.
Not a movie. Written by Tina Fey.
Mean Girls?
Mean Girls the Musical.
Oh, I'm in. Okay, this is exciting.
Have you seen it?
Nope,
Excellent.
Definitely not, because I was not interested at all.
Have you seen the Mean Girls the movie?
Oh, love Mean Girls the movie.
There it is.
Great. Here's why I didn't. Why, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, next week. Is that a lot of the cast before they made this movie were like, well, the other one's so outdated. We had to update it. I was like, ugh, GFY, get out of here. I'm not gonna watch your stupid movie.
GFY, go fuck. Oh Jesus, Tony, GFY.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I was trying to be polite, and not say it, but GFY.
I don't know what when they do those things, I never know what they are, so I have to work them out.
The acronyms, yeah. Well, it's okay. Sometimes I do too, and I ask my wife, and then she rolls her eyes as if I'm the dumbest man on earth, which she's right.
You should say there. I was on the debate team and the speech team,
and I went
to state.
Probably not dumb.
You went to state.
Did we win debates? Not really, but we debated.
Did everybody hate you when you showed up at the debate?
No.
Oh.
We were friends. We were all friends. I mean, maybe they did behind my back. I don't know. Listen, if you're out there, debate team, let me know if I was the anchor that dragged us down.
Well, good news is today we got this show in under 2 hours. How did we do 2 hours? What movie did we do 2 hours on?
It wasn't that long ago. I don't know, but we did it. We did it.
It was
sometimes
two shows.
Sometimes we
It
do
was
it.
2 shows ago that we had 2 hour long. Whew. Okay, good. Saying goodbye to Snow White. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment. And we'll be back next week talking about Mean Girls, the Seussical.
Goodbye, everybody. The Seussical.
Hey, watch it!